Hello, it's me again, Mrs. Mills, your English instructor for American Lit, and I'm here to talk about more poetry. Poetry is great, and we're going to look at Robert Frost, Gwendolyn Brooks, and some of their friends. So, what I need you to do is go to this week's folder and get the abstract poetry worksheet that you see in this week's folder. All right? It looks like this. This is side 1. And then it has William Carlos Williams on the second sheet. All right? Now, in addition to T.S. Eliot and Prufrock, you're going to read Robert Frost, and the poems are indicated on the folder and in the syllabus and on the assignment calendar. You're going to read Richard Cory, which is provided in a link. Gwendolyn Brooks, We Real Cool. I love that poem. You're going to read Langston Hughes, Harlem, and William Carlos Williams' poem about the red wheelbarrow. Now, this week is all about abstract poetry, and you definitely saw abstract poetry in Prufrock. And we're going to do an exercise with these other authors. And before we start, again, I need you to print off this worksheet, because I want you to do a little bit of writing with me right now while you watch this video. And you can always replay the video again and rework and edit and brainstorm some more. So we'll get to this in a minute. Now, in addition to doing the worksheet here in a minute, I want you to obviously go back and watch all the videos, the websites, do all the readings in correlation with this week, okay? Especially Gwendolyn Brooks, because it kind of goes along with this worksheet that we're going to do in a minute. Make sure that you go to that website for Brooks that I provided for you and listen to her read her poem, We Real Cool, all right? In addition, I want you to look at the John Ulrich video with him reading Gwendolyn Brooks' We Real Cool, all right? John Ulrich gives a personal connection to Brooks's poem, We Real Cool, all right? This week is all about bringing the familiar into the unfamiliar. Let me get my board real quick. Now, as you know, with these poems, they're very easy and quick to read, but they're also kind of foreign or odd to you because it just seems that there's just a bunch of words on a piece of paper and they really don't mean anything. But they do. Look at the red. When you write and when you brainstorm, we're going to do this in a minute, I want you to write what you see, okay? I'm going to read the poem, and I want you to visualize whatever pops into your head. I want you to write it down. What do you see when these poems are read? I want you to take these poems and take the unfamiliarity, just the words on the page, and I want you to make them familiar to your life, maybe a personal experience, maybe an experience from a vacation that you went on, maybe a TV or a movie character. Make these poems familiar to you. Pretty much, what do you see? All right? In John Ulrich's video, he did just that. He took Gwendolyn Brooks's poem and he implemented a personal connection. He took the kids in his neighborhood and that mass suicide that he talks about, and he relates it back to Gwendolyn Brooks and her poem, We Real Cool. And that's how he made it familiar to his own life. Got it? Let's try this. All right, I want everybody to get the worksheet. And if you have to pause this video and take a minute and print it out, no problem. So let's go ahead and do that. So if you need to pause it, pause me now and grab that worksheet. Okay, we have the worksheet. Let's go ahead and read the directions. Modern poetry, using the unfamiliar to describe familiar things. Directions. Write down your initial thoughts about the poems. Anything. Adjectives, a moral lesson, imagery, setting. Again, maybe a TV character, a movie character, a theater production, anything. Just as the class did with We Real Cool, we do this when in my seated class. I want you to find some meaning within these quote-unquote few words. All right, I'm going to read the poem, and as I read the poem, I want you directly on this piece of paper, because I would really, 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 really like you to scan this, if it's possible, and attach this PDF file onto the blog. You can put attachments on your blog entry. So when you hit create a blog entry, you'll see the text box, and then you'll see an attachment option. So it would be really, really nice to, if it's possible, to jot down all your great ideas and then scan them and upload them as a PDF file so your classmates can see what you're doing. Okay, back to the ranch. Here we go. Use the unfamiliar to explain familiar things. Describe and explain what you see. All right, I'm going to read Harlem. And again, you can do this with Real Cool, Richard Cory, Robert Frost. You can do that with all these authors, but we're just going to take the time in this short video to do Harlem and the Red Wheelbarrow. Okay, I'm going to read the poem, and I want you to write down anything that you see. Here we go. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? Or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat? Or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load. Or does it explode? All right, if you need to pause this video, go ahead, but I want you to write anything down that comes to your head about what you see in Hughes's poem. All right, we're going to go on to the next one. The same thing. I want you to look at William Carlos Williams' poem, The Red Wheelbarrow, and I want you to look at its form, and I want you to look at the words, and I'm going to read it, and anything that you see in your head, I want you to write it down, okay? Very subjective. It's all up to you. It's all in what you see. Here we go. The Red Wheelbarrow. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens. And I'll read it again. Just keep on writing. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens. All right, take those words and make them familiar. How can you personally connect to these words? And remember, it's abstract. Anything goes, and then you have to defend your thoughts within that block. All right, if you need to go back and watch this video again and rework your brainstorming, that's absolutely acceptable. But remember, these papers can be messy. You can write all over them. Just put your thoughts down, just like regular paper brainstorming. You can X things out. You can circle things. You can highlight them. And I want you to make these odd poems familiar to you. And again, it would be great if you have the ability to scan these on a PDF and attach it into the familiar blog for this week. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Keep on reading and have a great day.